being someone who could overcome and like do the unthinkable. And I look at that as like heroic, and turning your own visions into like reality and being the hero of your own story in a sense.
He'd be Obi-Wan Kenobi, because he just like, he teaches everyone everything. Like he's kind of like the leader of like everyone, if that makes sense. He's like the OG, like how Obi-Wan's like the OG in like all the Star Wars series.
Actually, I met Chris when I was mowing lawns with my brother in the little garage where he was renting out from Mark. We just spend quality time together, and those are probably the best memories I've had, honestly.
I also really relate to a quote by a famous bodybuilder, Kai Green, and it's, thoughts become things. When someone allows their thoughts to go to waste, their creativity, their gifts, I say they die in people's minds sometimes.
So a year before he started the gym, he was like Babe Ruth, and he said, pointed and he said, a year from today, mark my words, I'm gonna have a gym. And sure enough, he had a gym.
December 23rd, 2021, there's gonna be a gym, and all of us are gonna be a part of it, and it's gonna be an atmosphere that keeps more and more people coming back. I fucking promise you.
When it comes to running and owning a business, the gym especially, and clothing, both of those things are areas where I feel like I can be turning the visions to a reality or a fantasy into a reality. It's knowing where you're going, and before you even get there, you can see it so clearly. I got into fitness for baseball. Like that was my main reason. Get stronger, be a better athlete. I started to learn is I loved the gym because it was me versus me every day. And my passion for the gym actually grew to become more than what it was for baseball, which everyone knew me as a kid as like the baseball guy. In my freshman year of high school is when I really started to like work out consistently. Around 13, 14 years old, between lifting weights and listening to these speeches, I was able to start to develop kind of the mindset and the passion for fitness and bettering ourselves as a human being. When I first got into the lifting weights, it was about looking a certain way. Like I wanted to look in the mirror and see that I was getting bigger and stronger. And what happens to everyone though is you hit like this point of where you're not necessarily gonna look too much different or really get much stronger naturally without using substances, but it became not so much about the look, but training of the mind. It was the discipline of working out on days that you didn't want to, of pushing your body to limits that you didn't think were possible. And by coming across, you know, people like David Goggins and some of the bodybuilding stories of people who did really extreme dieting, and it got me into the competition lifestyle in college, and that's really how I kind of grew my social media following and my name as a fitness person. Doing early morning cardio sessions and working out on such low calories, feeling like complete garbage, but pushing through, knowing like, you know, you need to do this in order to achieve your goals. And like the discipline and the mindset that I was able to develop from that, they were instilled in me from when I was in my parents' basement and training and having this first idea of I want to own a gym. Like, so this was around 2020 where it was first came to me that I wanted to do this as a career. When I approached my buddies about this situation, I basically proposed that I would rent a small gym studio space and use my full-time salary just to pay the rent. And they were like, you're crazy.
Well, the beginning emotions were a lot of anxiousness and worrisome for him, because he started out in the basement with a few people, and then he expanded to the garage, and that was quite a few people. And then he tells us he wants a bigger space. And although we were proud of him and excited for his growth, my husband and I were both very worried.
I had operated as Legacy Fitness Club for 3.5, almost 4 years, and I had never thought to myself, I'm going to have to change the name. That was never, rebranding was never like even the slightest thought that would creep into my mind. I loved Legacy because it meant a lot to me. And it was a Friday afternoon when I received a letter in the mail that basically said, you need to stop using the name Legacy. And I was like, this is bullshit. Another gym in Florida goes by the name of Legacy Fit, and they have a trademark for that, which covers the whole nation, federal umbrella. We weren't doing anything wrong by owning the LLC, but they have the right to step in and say, you're infringing on our trademark. And there was not much that I could do. it took me a while to come up with Aspire. Like, yeah, but that was probably the greatest challenge that we've had to face since this whole story started. I think the first one that's sticking out to me is the night before we changed the name. And Legacy itself, that name, it was named in honor of my godfather who passed away. I think if I could go back and feel that kind of like emotional connection with my family again, like it was very deep for me.
This right now is the email I am sending to completely make a life-altering decision of not attending graduate school at Oneonta, at least right now.
He was enrolled in a master's program after he graduated with his bachelor's from Oneonta. And day one into the master's, he told us that he wanted to withdraw, that this was not something he wanted to pursue. He had spoken to a friend at the time, and she had encouraged him, "You're not really happy." And she said, "I think we know what you're really happy with and what you want to pursue." So we all were around the computer as he hit the withdraw button from the master's program, and hence this started.
What's going on, everybody? March 9th, 2023. Today's super important, and that's because it's my uncle and godfather's birthday, John Huber.
And it was actually right before I had graduated that he had unexpectedly passed. And when he had passed away so unexpectedly, his wake was right up the road here, and there was like a 3-hour wait just to get to my cousins and aunt and like to pay your respects because so many people from the community had shown up.
So he became very fast buddies with my husband, Christopher's dad, when Mark and I started dating. And my sister and I are 14 months apart, so our whole lives we were very close. High school, college, everything together. So we both moved out to Altamont together. We lived 3 doors apart. So our families did everything together. The kids rode their bikes together, they played together, swam together, we went on vacations together. My brother-in-law, like my father, has his own business, started from the ground up, worked like a dog, and I think that was just an inspiration that helped this gym to come into fruition.
One of my favorite moments with my godfather was playing wiffle ball in the backyard at my cousin's. We shared so many memories playing basketball and wiffle ball. Our first Legacy League basketball game, like something about basketball is so exciting around here. Our basketball league here is basically a mini NBA. Like we don't worry about judgment, we just go out there and do it. With the gym, it's not just physically helping them, it's I want to give them a place of safe haven. Like this is a home. This is a home for people.
Look at all these strong men lifting.
Chief supervisor right here.
This was my home. It's literally my home here, and Chris has always just showed me a lot, just how to become a better man. In the past year, I just became a better person.
Growing up, he was obviously stronger than me, like when I first started, but I was always able to compete on shoulder press. Squat, I'm at like 550, bench like 320, and like a 650 deadlift.
Let's get it up! Get up! Get up! Come on! Let's go!
It's more like a family rather than just a gym. Like everyone does everything together, and everyone's really just close to each other.
It's really what inspired LEAD, which is our charity and my really newest venture and learning curve, is the nonprofit entity of going out into our surrounding communities, because this has been 3 or 4 years of being in Guilderland, which, you know, it's my hometown. Like, why would I not want to impact right here? But there's more out there. It's a great big world, and there's more people that can be inspired and impacted in a positive and healthy way.
Chris just started his LEAD Foundation thing, so that's going to like more inner city schools like Schenectady, Albany, and Troy. So it's really just going to show them that there's really more to life other than like following a crowd and doing something different. Like working out and exercising is more than just being big and strong. It's something that's good for your lifestyle in general. So I think it'll help the more Black community and stuff like that actually do things outside of what they seem as the norm.
And I think he's done a wonderful job so far. A lot of people, I just had a fellow here Thursday night said to me, I'm so glad I started coming here. I think it was his third visit, his third training night. And he said, I really feel like this is a great community fit for me. And I like to chit chat to the people. So I was grateful that he said that, because I like to hear people's stories and what attracts them to come here.
I wanted to create a place where everyone was working on becoming the best version of themselves. So I was like, everyone is aspiring to be better at something. And to this day, everyone that comes here is aspiring to be better in, whether it's physically, mentally, maybe they want more confidence or better health. So I was like, this is something that brings us all together as a common bond. I feel like my real gift is from helping people, or is to help people. And this is just the platform that I get to do it on.